And how moving and how sad. And she asked us to be silent while she read those names, and people were very respectful, and I appreciate that. But now I'm going to ask you to show your dismay, your anger, your disappointment at this brutal austerity programme, and give a great big Manchester roar against it. We're not going to take it. We're not going to take it, everybody. Let's have a roar. No! There's a big protest next Saturday at Manchester University. Are the students here yet? They were marching down. Over there, raise your banner up. These are the students who are occupying Manchester University for free education. Because it's not just the cuts that are being imposed. We've got things we actually want. Free education. So well done to them, and thank you for marching down, and we'll be hearing from one of them in a moment. So we hope to see you next Saturday. So we're going to keep going with protests, and then in the meantime, we'll have a little bit of music while you sign up for the coaches. We are offering free transport to people who can't afford to go to London. So at this point, I'm going to ask the stewards to make a collection amongst the crowd. If you can't go, please put some money in the bucket for somebody who can. For example, a power wheelchair takes 8 places on a coach. And I've got at least 3 people in those chairs that want to go. And we need to be able to finance that. Don't you agree? So please give generously at the buckets that come round. And don't forget the homeless collection point over here. Enjoy a couple of minutes of music, and then we'll have some speakers right back with you. So I'd like to introduce one man and his beard.
And floors around Manchester, around the country. It goes like this.
For free education, and she's going to talk to you about it now.
Hi. To give you a bit of context, there's been a group of us in Manchester at Basic University who've been working all year to make a presence felt and a resistance felt against the increasing marketisation of education. Now, we're under a system where tuition fees have raised themselves to £9 grand. I was fortunate enough to have started my study in the old tuition fee system, and I cannot comprehend how it must feel for young people wanting to educate themselves, facing the prospects now under a new Tory government of those fees raising to an even higher number, facing an even bleaker future of unrepayable debt. We've been campaigning all year to show the university that we recognise its culpability in that trend. And that trend is one in which education is not treated like a public good, it's treated like a business model, and students who involve themselves in that system, wanting to educate themselves, are treated like consumers. Our voices are not heard, and we're not recognised as being people who want to learn, for the idea that we're going to be critical and we're going to resist oppression. The model that we're sold is that we want to learn so that we can earn lots of money in the future. And I'm here to tell you that don't be dismayed. Students don't agree with that. We're not, it's not being sold to us. We're going to resist. I'm a postgrad, and I also started teaching myself this year. And the contract under which I'm employed, I say contract, it's more of a letter that I signed, has no transparency whatsoever. I have no rights. And this is another trend that we're seeing in this business model. People who have worked hard, who want to share their knowledge with young students, are being forced to work under this model themselves. They've been employed on precarious contracts that gives them no rights. They have temporary contracts that means as soon as their services are no needed, they're disposed and someone else is brought in. And all the money that the university is generating, charging students £9 grand, is going into mysterious places. And so we sort of reached a climax when we heard the election results. The Tory government refused to rule out a further increase in tuition fees, and not only that, they've set aside some dubious schemes for postgraduate funding, which essentially increases this regime of student debt. Added to that, George Osborne's terrifying proposal that they also still plan to sell off the student loan book. The future of education, the future of the idea of education as a way of arming yourself with knowledge, learning about the world in which you live and resisting oppression is absolutely being decimated by these plans. And we wanted to take action. We wanted to take action quickly. We hadn't been preparing a lot, but we decided to take a part of the university and show them that we were real presence, who were organising, who were talking about these things, and were educating ourselves about them. What the university responded with is rather telling. We took an empty space that the university was planning to renovate into an executive education centre, the name of which sort of implies quite a lot. But those plans, for some reason or another, fell through. And we took this empty space in the hope that we could get other students to join us, talk about these issues, make a plan of action. But we were surrounded by security for the entire time. There were 3 to 4 members of security on every door, and increasingly throughout the occupation we were faced with violence. So unfortunately we had to leave, but the message I want to give you is we had an incredible amount of interest, we had an incredible amount of media coverage. Students of the university are coming to us, asking us what can they do. And next year, going forward, we're going to have an amazing plan. We're going to fight the university. We're going to make them more accountable to students. We're going to argue that they're not democratic. We're going to show them that their curriculum is unliberated. And we're going to show them that we want a free education that's about knowledge and not about business. Thank you for listening.
The university was sacked just before Christmas, just sent home. And those workers at Salford University were on strike for a day, and they're on strike for another 4 days next week and the week after. And we really send their good wishes to them to help fight back against the privatisation of education. I'm just going to put a shout out for Annette Wright, because she's the speaker after next, and I've just lost sight of her for a moment. But in the meantime, I want to introduce Chris, one of the friends of the organisers, who's going to talk to us. Chris.
Well, right, I'm not much of a public speaker, so do bear with me. But I'm going to give you a bit of my story on austerity, and where I think we should go as a collective, and as collective consciousness. First off, my name's Chris, and I'd like to thank everybody for turning out today. All these beautiful faces that are willing to make a stand against austerity and against cuts. I'm personally from Northern Ireland. I've been through a lot, and I've been homeless, and I was given a second chance, and I believe that everybody, no matter what, deserves a second chance. My mum and myself have both dealt with mental health difficulties. My mum constantly has been ill and has had to deal with DLA and ASOS and Ian Duncan Smith and the benefit and what have you. With it being cut and the privatisation, I feel that people are being misdiagnosed and said it. And with depression, we need to be there for each other. We need to be there as a collective community to look out for each other and to listen to each other's plights. I know it's hard to understand somebody else's plight when you've got your own, but as a collective, I'm sure that we can get through this. Cully? Sorry, right, I've lost my speech, so I'll go free with it. Sorry, no, I know. We as the community know that we have the power. They in Downing Street, them in the town hall, Thatcher, Cameron, Osborne, the names can go on forever. They think that the power that they have outweighs the power of the many. Years ago, that we were labelled as people with tinfoil hats. We were the people that fought outside the box and people said, no, you're wrong, you're crazy. But now that we have fellow like-minded people, it's time to strive on together in unity, no matter whether it's for bedroom tax, whether it's austerity, whether it's students, whether it's pensioners, no matter, we need to move forward as a collective, because sooner or later, we're going to be telling our kids, our grandchildren, what are you going to do when they took over? What did you do? And it is not time to stand by and say that we just stood by and watched, that we just stood by and let it happen. It's time, as a collective, to take the power away from thieves, away from scoundrels, away from liars, and away from bankers, and take the power and bring it back to the people. The time for austerity, the time for segregation with religion, with political beliefs. I'm hoping that there are some Tories here. I hope that there are some people here from the EDL, because we hope that together, we've united, that we will be together and we will defeat whatever they throw at us. We will be together, we will be united, and we will beat this. And thank you every single person, thank you everyone that's involved, thank you every single organiser that's listening to me, that will be here for 5 minutes and has donated food. Thank you everyone, because you all deserve a massive round of applause.
Thank you very much. That's really true, because a solidarity or a mass protest, whatever they want to call it, is made up of individuals, and that's all of us. But we show our power and we can be heard when we come together. So what a great message to bring to Manchester today. And more people are crowding round the side here, and we're really keen to get you all into the gardens here so you can hear and see what's going on. Now critical to any movement against austerity are those workers that either experience terrible contracts, low wages, being robbed of their pensions, and have to work in the services every day, devastated, seeing what's happening to the services that they provide. Which is why the support of the Manchester Trades Council is so important. And I want you to give a big round of applause now for their president.
Hiya folks, thanks very much. I'm the President of Manchester Trades Council, which is the local coordinating body of the Trade Union Congress, which is all the trade unions in the country come together and discuss our common aims and our common policies. A lot of you won't have done this before, I think, and I hope everybody's having a good time here. I do this on a very regular basis, and I don't remember the last time I had to fight my way through a crowd in Manchester to get to the microphone. There are a lot of people here because we're all very, very angry against this Tory government. Folks, the policy of the Trade Union Congress is that we are against austerity. We are for investment, we're for job creation, we're for tax justice, and we're for the redistribution of wealth. But we mean something very different by that than this Tory government mean, because I'm afraid they are redistributing wealth to themselves, and we need to get it redistributed back in the correct manner. None of us here want to live in a city where people are having to sleep on the streets. None of us want to live in a city where people are losing money, they're having all money taken away from them through benefit sanctions, through the work capability. When you think about a community, you might think about a housing estate with a local pub, or you might think about a suburb of Manchester where everyone goes shopping in the same place. But we as a city are a community. If you look at the definition of a community in the dictionary, it'll tell you that it is people with a common philosophy, common aims. The common philosophy in this city is that we hate this Tory government and we want to get rid of it. Unionist Party puts its policies in front of us in this city. The overwhelming majority of us say that we do not want that sort of philosophy here. We say that in the local council elections. We say that in the elections for the European Parliament. We say it in the general election. And we don't have to have them here. But we don't have to have them in government either, if enough of us keep coming together to stand up against them. Because we didn't have social media in the same way we do now, even 5 years ago. So many people after that election were upset and hurt and angry and in a state of despair. Sorry, 1 second, I'm just finishing. And in a state of despair. And we knew through social media that we were all feeling that way in our own bedrooms, on our own, and feeling isolated and alone. And I just want to pay tribute. While I was still sitting there upset and getting drunk and thinking I must talk about this at my next committee meeting, the two people who organised this event got us all together. They gave us a lead. They saw that we were isolated and upset and angry, and they did what is the natural human thing when people feel that way. They gave us a lead and they brought us together, and now they've brought